Hello, everyone, and welcome to the One United podcast. This is Wali, and it's been quite a while since we actually last recorded something over here. The reason for that is because, just like our podcasts, it's been a similar kind of situation with Manchester United's transfer speculations and news and their activities in the transfer market. It's been a complete lull, and the reason why we decided, I think Paritosh is also going to be here in some time. The reason why we decided to actually record over here is so that we can actually rant a little bit about how unacceptable you could say at this stage of time, although you might say it's early stages, but considering that you have finished 15th last season, you lost the Europa League to Tottenham Hotspur, who finished who finished below you, much below you, and despite that, you still have the same players who had actually made a mess of that season the last time around. All right, so it's not just about the incomings of the year. It's not just about the incomings of the year. We're also going to talk about the outgoings. There were a lot of reports about Marcus Rashford, Anthony, Jadon Sancho, and Alejandro Garnacho to be out of that door. But here we are. Preseason is about to start. Training has begun at Carrington. The players are there. Yes, Matthias Cunha is in there. I'm delighted with that. He's a quality player. I have a lot of expectations from him. But considering you finished 15th last season, big Manchester United, one of the top European clubs in the world, and you have just made one signing with no exits so far. So this does cause us to actually be a little worried when it comes to that. So, you know, we still have a lot of time, you could say. Preseason, although it's about to start in a few weeks, but the season it still has a few more weeks, a few more days remaining. I think we will be making moves. See Brian Mbuemo again. I think I'm bored of that transfer speculation now. It's become the Wesley Sneijder transfer speculation like it was back in the day. I don't know if you guys actually remember how it was. And I think we've got Paritosh now joining in. Paritosh, kya haal hai bhai? How
Hello,
are you?
hello, my friend. How are you?
All good, all good. तो बस अभी स्टार्ट किया था.
Sorry to anyone who's watching या फिर जो बाद में भी देखेगा. I'm not on video. वीडियो में आऊंगा थोड़ी देर भी आ पाऊंगा लेकिन पक्का नहीं है. But I'll be able to talk ऐसे ही थोड़ा थोड़ा.
नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम भाई, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. अभी मैं उसी के बारे में बात कर रहा था. बस अभी जो मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड की ट्रांसफर इन एक्टिविटी है, मतलब डिसअपॉइंटमेंट शेयर कर रहा था फिलहाल, but considering that we had finished 15th last season and despite that we've just made one signing so far and no one has actually even left the club, and pre-season is just a few weeks away, training has begun. तो क्या तू अभी तक are you worried about that?
Uh, yes and no. Because I am worried because I want them to leave. I am not worried because I knew this would happen. I had prepared myself क्योंकि मुझे पता था कि इतनी सारी outgoings with the current wage structure they are on, it is going to be very difficult. Nobody is going to touch these players easily. मतलब उसमें दो तीन reasons हैं. एक रीजन तो ऑब्वियस यही है कि उनकी वेज स्ट्रक्चर हाई है. दूसरा क्योंकि एक बिग क्लब में ऑलरेडी दे हैव नॉट बीन एबल टू फंक्शन, तो उसके बाद बाकी क्लब्स को ये लगेगा कि व्हाट इज द श्योरिटी कि ये लोग यहाँ आके विल वर्क इन टैंडम विद द मैनेजर या फिर कुछ भी, कि मतलब सेम प्रॉब्लम्स दोबारा अराइज नहीं करेंगी, इसकी कोई श्योरिटी नहीं है. तीसरा रीजन मुझे जो लगता है इन साइनिंग्स का ना होने का और एम्बुएमो की साइनिंग रुकने का भी, other clubs and other executives know the vulnerability and the desperation of Manchester United. वो चाहेंगे कि मैक्सिमम वैल्यू इस टाइम पे एक्सट्रैक्ट कर पाए वो लोग इस क्लब से, और whether it be in selling the players, जैसे एम्बुएमो नाउ दे सी द अदर ट्रांसफर्स, तो उन्हें लग रहा है कि why not sell our players for a bigger cost, or it could be in the processes where we are the ones who are selling. जो बायर क्लब है वो चाहेगा कि वो बेस्ट प्राइस पे खरीदे, बेस्ट से भी ज्यादा बेटर प्राइस पे, ताकि एटलीस्ट वॉट एवर इज लेफ्ट ऑफ यूनाइटेड दे विल बी एबल टू स्क्रैप आउट. अब हमारे ऊपर है कि हम इस सिचुएशन से कैसे निकलते हैं, और यहाँ पे बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करते हैं वो एग्जीक्यूटिव्स जो हायर हुए हैं, हु आर बीइंग पेड बिहाइंड द डोर्स, जिनको हम पैसा दे रहे हैं, जो मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम्स और एग्जीक्यूटिव्स की हम बात करते हैं कि ये आ गया है, सिटी से हमने सीईओ उठा लिया है और 10 चीजें, और वो सब अब पता चलेगा कि उसका फायदा है कि नहीं, वेदर दे आर एबल टू नेगोशिएट डील्स, क्योंकि ये तो होना था, इट वाज इनएविटेबल और आई वाज रेडी फॉर इट, इसलिए आई एम नॉट वरिड, बट इट इज अ मैटर ऑफ कंसर्न। और इसके पीछे बात होनी चाहिए कि ये कब तक खिंचता रहेगा, क्योंकि प्री सीजन होने वाला है एंड वी नीड द साइनिंग्स टू बी विद द टीम। प्री सीजन में कुनिया आ गया है टीम में, एंड दैट शुड हैव बीन द केस फॉर एम्बुएमो एज वेल। लेट्स सी हाउ लॉन्ग इट टेक्स, बट whether it is a cause of concern or not, yes, it is a cause of concern.
Well, if you actually look at the fixture list, 19 July को Manchester United का first preseason game है against Leeds. So, just a matter of 10 days. Will United be able to secure Mbuemo before that? I don't know. I'm not so sure. Third bid के बारे में मैंने सुना था कि it was not that imminent. Second bid में उन्होंने United ने offer किया था around 55 million plus add-ons. But apparently Brentford are requiring something in excess of at least 60, similar to what we had paid to Cunha, because according to Brentford, uh, like Mbuemo is their most important player, most valuable player, and he actually had more of an impact than Matheus Cunha had statistically. So they are within the right to actually demand that, and it's a matter of
मतलब
hardball
साला
right
के
now.
बाद ही इज द मोस्ट इफेक्टिव विंगर राइट नाउ, अगर प्रीमियर लीग की बात की जाए, मतलब सबसे ज्यादा इफेक्टिव वो ही रहा पिछले सीजन में। तो ऑब्वियसली दे वुड वांट as much money as they can get out of him, क्योंकि they'll let this transfer only once। हमें मुझे बहुत सारी और चीजें प्रॉब्लमेटिक लगती हैं, जैसे जो अभी न्यूकासल इज बाइंग आर फॉर्मर प्लेयर, तो इलांगा, तो मेरे को वो प्रॉब्लम लगता है कि यार, और हमें पता था कि ये वैल्यूएबल प्लेयर है, रैग्निक ने बोला ही इज अ फेनोमेनल प्लेयर, उसने खिलाया इसको कंसिस्टेंटली, हमने बेच दिया और अब वो शाइन कर रहा है, एंड दिस विल हैपन फॉर एवरी अदर प्लेयर। एंटनी वी आर सेइंग ओनली सैंचो इज एन एनोमली हियर, कि उसका मेरे को लगता है कि वो तो पता नहीं कैसे ही, मतलब ही हैज बीन एबल टू स्क्रैप अ लिविंग आउट ऑफ इम्पोस्टरिंग एज अ फुटबॉलर। एक तो हमें सबको बेवकूफ बनाया उसने, उसने इतना पैसा ठग लिया है दुनिया भर का, और अब इट इज क्लोज टू इम्पॉसिबल टू गेट अ डील फॉर हिम। तो मेरे को एक वही लगता है, बाकी सबका आई एम प्रिटी सर्टेन कि दे विल बी एबल टू प्ले वेल वेर एवर दे गो। तो आई डोंट माइंड अदर क्लब्स, बट ये मेरे को प्रॉब्लम लगती है कि हमें ही क्यों पता नहीं चलता है कि हमारे प्लेयर्स की वैल्यू क्या है, और हम ही बार बार लास्ट में इन सबके साथ स्क्रैप्स में क्यों लड़े रहते हैं कि हम लोग अपना किसी तरीके से वैल्यू बचा लें प्लेयर की, या हम निकाल लें अपना प्लेयर। दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम विच आई एम नॉट एबल टू आंसर।
Uh, Historically भी अगर देखें यार Paritosh, so I think in terms of buying, United are better in terms of buying as compared to selling, and that is exactly what I want to see as to how we are going to offload these players, because I think selling is more important than buying this transfer window, because only once you clear these, you could say deadwood, will you be able to actually get the right players that you need for Amarim's system. And Amarim has been, what I'm glad with is that Amarim ने साफ यही बोल दिया है कि these players are not going to train with me, because I don't know if you've heard, but Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, all these players will not be training with the senior squad, and they have been given this ultimatum by the manager, and the agent has also been informed apparently that they need to find a club for them, because agar nahi mila, they will be training separately. They might even feature in some under 23 games, and that is something which will of course be a cause of worry for them, क्योंकि आगे जाके World Cup आ रहा है next year. I'm sure these people would want to represent their nation next year. And for the likes of Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, Anthony, and Sancho, it's very important that they actually feature in a top club. And at the same time, यार मैं ये भी कहना चाहता हूँ, कुछ जो प्लेयर्स हैं हमारे ना कुछ ज़्यादा ही हवाबाज है, ठीक है। Alejandro Garnacho को लग रहा है कि उसके पास रियल मैड्रिड का कॉल आएगा या बार्सिलोना का कॉल आएगा. That's not going to be the case. You have to accept that probably someone like even Napoli is a good club. It's a big club. Of course, they won the Italian league last year. But you have to accept what your value is and how you are actually looked upon. अगर ऐसा होता तो कोई ना कोई अभी तक, I think there's some connection issue with Paritosh. अगर ऐसा होता तो क्या कहते हैं, कोई ना कोई क्लब आके अभी तक उसको पिक अप कर लेता, but that's not been the case so far. So you could say that they need to actually reconsider themselves as to how they look at themselves in the next few years. Like, what is their true value? Some of the fans actually overhype these players, and that has been a major problem for them. For example, Marcus Rashford, he is fixated upon being a player for Barcelona. You know, in his interviews, you see him talking about Barcelona and Lamine Yamal. उसने पूरे तरीके से सोचा कि मैं बार्सिलोना ही जाऊंगा. Barcelona, of course, they haven't signed Nico Williams. Nico Williams ने 10 साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अब एक्सटेंड कर लिया है एथलेटिको के साथ. तो बट लाइक आई सेड, ही इज फिक्सेटेड कि मैं जाऊंगा तो बार्सिलोना ही जाऊंगा. अब Barcelona, do they have the money to actually pay his wages? That will be interesting to see. Similarly for Jadon Sancho, you know, if you want to play in the World Cup next year for England, if you want to be in that bus with Thomas Tuchel, then you have to uh, reconsider your value as to what, like where you see yourself. You have to reconsider all of that and then make the right move. Now, talks are that Juventus, जो है, Jadon Sancho में काफी interested है, and at the same time, there are a few agents from, a few players जो आपको in exchange मिल सकते हैं यूवेंटस की तरफ से for Sancho, such as आपका एक तो Vlahovic है और एक डगलस लुइस है. So I think it will be an interesting, मेरे हिसाब से एक interesting composition यहाँ पे बन रहा है यार. मेरे हिसाब से यार Sancho का पता है तुम्हें कि they are actually offering us, you know, Juventus, उन्होंने एक तो उसका contract terminate कर दिया.
Vlahovic, I know.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I know about that.
If you're not
Douglas
able
Luiz है
to,
कौन सा दूसरा player?
Luis,
Douglas Luiz ही है ना?
Yes.
I know, and लेकिन हमें बात ये कि Vlahovic is not the same player जो ट्रांसफर हुआ था यूवेंटस में. वो उस टाइम पे टॉप स्ट्राइकर था. He was like Gyökeres at that point. What the value of Gyökeres is right now, that was the player that Vlahovic was. He is not working for them, and that there is the reason that they want him out. There can be a possibility जहाँ पे Sancho could work for Juventus, but again, उन लोग उतना high wages नहीं देंगे उसे. अब he is able to accept that or not, वो I am not able to understand. That is my concern here.
Well, yes. और Garnacho को
I think United have lined up. The last I saw, United have lined up clubs for him. It's a matter of whether he wants to be in conversations with these clubs. He wants to actually go, or he's just fooling around with us, just trying to get the most money he can as his last hurrah. I'm not sure if he wants the transfer really or not.
Well, like I said, if he doesn't actually accept an offer, the pressure is on these players. If he doesn't accept an offer, they're not going to feature in any of the games for Manchester United.
But yes, and what I also want to say is that I am not sure about the mentality of Sancho as well. I am pretty certain that Antony would rise. I'm not sure about Sancho because the way he is behaving is not like a player who wants to play for his country in the upcoming tournaments. He knows that he needs to play regular football if he has to have any chance of playing for his country again. And he's in the position he's in right now, it's not looking the case. So I'm not sure whether he really wants to pursue this. I know Antony does. I'm not sure about Sancho. And I know that Antony will get a deal. He is ready to take a wage.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Antony is apparently willing to take a wage cut, whereas Sancho is nowhere near that. But I think अगर जितना आप deadline के पास जाते रहोगे, I think Sancho will make that move because he will have no other option. Otherwise, he'll just have to rot on the bench or play for the reserves. And I don't think that's something that he's going to do. तो मेरे हिसाब से तो Sancho, Juventus is very much a possibility. Rashford to Barcelona, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. या तो उसको एक और बार लोन पे देंगे, क्या होगा वो देखना बनता है. Antony, Sociedad, I can see it happening. But yeah, we need to actually make that first move. Once that first outgoing एक बार secure हो जाएगा, you know, it'll be a ripple effect, I feel. You'll get a hang of things and that would lead to much better dealings going ahead. So that is very important. We are moving at the pace of a snail at this moment of time. क्योंकि अगर बाकी तरफ देखो यार, अगर तुमने कल मैच देखा फीफा क्लब वर्ल्ड कप का, फ्यूमिनीज और चेल्सी के बीच मैच था, देयर रीसेंट बाय जोआ पेड्रो, क्या गोल्स मारे उसने, जबरदस्त. एंड यू नो, वन फॉर द फ्यूचर यू कुड से. 2 goals he backed, one in the 18th minute and one in the 56th minute, and as a result of that, Chelsea are now in the finals. On the other hand, you look at Arsenal, they're strengthened with Zubimendi. They're on the verge of signing, you know, Ruben Amorim's centre forward, which was Victor Gyökeres. They're on the verge of signing him. We might hear a here we go anytime soon. You look at Liverpool, they've signed Florian Wirtz, and they have Frimpong. So, you know, all these big clubs are actually making moves, and it seems like United, you know, last season they finished second, third, just because they're pretty relaxed. But at the same time, you have to say, मुझे नहीं लगता that we should actually consider these top clubs as our rivals at least for the next 2 seasons, because we cannot compete with them. Who we can compete with, unfortunately, right now is your Brentfords, your Tottenham Hotspurs, your Crystal Palaces, your Fulhams. I think that is the angle that we have to look at, because the transfer market में देख ले, we're not doing anything as much. You compare ourselves with the big clubs. Victor Gyökeres शायद आर्सेनल चले जाएगा, Zubimendi हो चुका है, Florian Wirtz आपका लिवरपूल में है, he's over there. You have Frimpong over there. Apart from that, Chelsea, again,
Monaco is also an exciting team right now. The way Monaco is moving in the market, उन्होंने जो players sign किया, I'm excited to watch them. There is Fati, Pogba, so there is an exciting prospect brewing there.
Yeah. So all the top
Can
clubs.
any of our players also go there? Do you think? Because they have money, and also the fact that Monaco is a place where many people go to launder money can play in our favor if we pitch Sancho to him. Yeah. It's a definite factor. So Pogba signing for them is a big reason behind it is that it's a safe haven for tax evaders.
Yeah. By the way,
you might laugh at it, but that is the truth.
No. I agree. This is the case with many of the clubs, not just Monaco. Kafi leagues, kafi clubs, मैं so I'm sure. Players are overvalued. There's a reason why they're overvalued. Let's not.
I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's able to play football. I'm glad that he's able to play football, but I'm not sure that अभी कितना time लगेगा उसे to be back to his best. Although he'll be playing in Champions League, that's a plus.
I think the French league would actually do a good service to him, because it's not as quick as physical as the Premier League. So I think he'll
be able to use his technique better. There'll be enough time for him.
Yes. So I'm actually quite excited for him. But United की वापस बात करते हैं. तो काफी free agents घूम रहे हैं यार पारितोष, जिसकी वजह से मुझे बहुत चिंता हो रही है. Players such as Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Jamie Vardy, Moise Kean, ये सारे के सारे free agents हैं अभी फिलहाल. इस हिसाब से चल रहा है, तो ऐसा लग रहा था कि
हमें किया है ना हमें किया Calvert-Lewin ऑफर हुआ है.
Calvert-Lewin ऑफर एजेंट्स की तरफ से बातें आ रही है कि we can offer you Calvert-Lewin. Obviously, United are in no rush, but if things go like how they've went for the past 1.5 months, then you remember the emergency signings that we are going to make. We will actually go out for strikers such as Calvert-Lewin, unfortunately, and if we actually do that, they go. I'm anyways not looking forward to the next season. But if Calvert-Lewin is our centre forward, I'd rather much prefer Rasmus Højlund leading the line. And I don't know. It will be of no interest to me to actually watch Manchester United, because Calvert-Lewin in 2025. Okay, if it was 2018, 2019, yes, maybe we could have considered it. But in 2025, it's an absolutely no-go. अगर किसी को लेना है, एक नाम जिससे हम लिंक हुए थे अभी recently was also Ollie Watkins. I would fancy him definitely. He's one of the top centre forwards when it comes to the Premier League. और उसके अगर आप stats भी देखोगे यार पारितोष, last season as well he scored 16 goals and he had around let me just confirm the number of goals that he had. Ollie Watkins stats. So we are talking about wait, these are wrong. So last season 38 matches खेले थे, 16 goals and 8 assists. And that was his off season. He was not the man in form according to Aston Villa fans. And prior to that, अगर देखें तो 37 games the previous season, 19 goals and 13 assists. And the season before that, 15 goals and 6 assists. अगर सोचो Højlund ये numbers pull up करता, तो we would have said he's one of the best centre forwards in the Premier League, one of the best centre forwards United has ever seen. ये सब बातें हो रही होती है. But you look at Ollie Watkins. I think if we do consider getting him, I don't think it's going to be a negative at all. He is Premier League proven, 29 years of age. Of course, you could say that he is maturing as a player, but let's not forget that we also signed Robin van Persie at the age of 29, I think, if I'm not wrong. And yes, of course, they're different class. But यार Watkins के बारे में बात कर रहा था पारितोष, Ollie Watkins से भी हमारा नाम जुड़ रहा था. I think अगर Watkins के लिए जाएंगे around 40-50 million, I think he would be worth it. Because अगर उसके numbers देखोगे last season, he's been a constant threat in front of goal. What do you say? There's some internet issue with Paritosh right now. Anyways, so yeah, that's me on Watkins. Lekin yeah, see, Calvert-Lewin, Jamie Vardy, absolutely not. See, we've already been through that phase in which we actually went for both Weghorst. We went for
हेलो
Cody and हाँ आवाज आ
हेलो
रही है भाई आ रही है
हाँ 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 आई हर्ड योर क्वेश्चन आई थिंक आई वाज नॉट एबल टू आंसर
हाँ
ओली वॉटकिंस के बारे में यू वर आस्किंग राइट
yeah yeah
हाँ आई एम आल्सो नॉट वेरी सर्टेन मैं इस तरह के प्लेयर्स ऐसा कोई इस समय वर्ल्ड लेवल में फुटबॉलर नहीं है जो इतना टॉप स्ट्राइकर हो क्योंकि एट वन पॉइंट देयर वर पीपल जैसे अब्रामोविच था कवानी व्हेन ही केम कि हु वर एट द लेटर पार्ट ऑफ देयर करियर और स्टिल वेरी गुड ऑल्दो
पर यार
देयर काल्वर्ट-लुइन गुड
वॉटकिंस के नंबर्स अगर तू देखेगा यार भाई तो 16 गोल और
नहीं सॉरी
8
सॉरी वॉटकिंस मैं मेरे दिमाग में लुइन चल रहा था काल्वर्ट-लुइन ओली वॉटकिंस इज गुड
कैल्वर्ट-लुइन
ओली वॉटकिंस तो लास्ट सीजन भी बहुत अच्छा खेला है हाँ
हाँ
ओली वॉटकिंस तो ये वो है ना वेस्ट हैम वाला है ना
एस्टन विला सेंटर
एस्टन विला
फॉरवर्ड
सॉरी सॉरी सॉरी
कंफ्यूज हो गया
मेरा
हाँ
मेरे दिमाग में एवर्टन वाला वो कैल्वर्ट ट्विन चल रहा था उसके लिए आई वाज टॉकिंग नहीं नहीं ओली
हाँ
वॉटकिंस तो इज गुड ओली वॉटकिंस तो मतलब इज अ प्लेयर आई कैन फैंसी बट नॉट कैल्वर्ट ट्विन एंड अदर्स ओली वॉटकिंस बट यार वी हैव टू पिक आवर एग्स वेरी स्पेसिफिकली अगर हम हर अगले प्लेयर के लिए जाएंगे वी विल हैव नो बजट अभी हम लोग आउटगोइंग्स नहीं कर पाए हैं और ऑलरेडी कुछ क्लब्स पे पेनल्टी लग चुकी है फाइनेंशियल फेयर प्ले वाली चेल्सी बीइंग वन ऑफ देम आई डोंट वांट us to be in a position जहाँ पे वो हमें अगले सीजन फेस करना पड़े अभी तो क्या ही कर लेंगे हमारा कोई क्योंकि हम लोग ऑलरेडी यूरोप में तो खेल नहीं रहे बट लेटर ऑन हमें भुगतना पड़ेगा तो वी हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी प्रिसाइज एंड श्योर अबाउट आवर साइनिंग्स बिफोर डूइंग देम
और
ओली वॉटकिंस
कैल्वर्ट-लुइन
आई
के
एम
बारे में क्या
गुड
बताता
अबाउट बट आई थिंक विल नीड आउटगोइंग्स उसके लिए विल नीड आउटगोइंग्स हम लोग ऐसे ही साइन नहीं कर सकते
हाँ I agree to that. I think Watkins, if we actually do get him, we get a Premier League proven centre forward. He does have the potential to lead the line for United and actually be a very a threat. And I think under him, Rasmus Højlund, if he does stay, I hope he doesn't, but if he does, could actually learn a lot. And like I said, he's Premier League proven. You need certain players, and if this is the way that Ineos are going to go, in which we've signed Matthias Cunha, we are about to sign, let's say, Brian Mbuemo, and if we go the Watkins way, then I wouldn't be too mad at it because I think that would be one of the finest top three front threes in the Premier League. But Calvert-Lewin के बारे में कुछ कह रहा था कि let's say if we sign Calvert-Lewin, Vardy, could you see us go that route जहाँ पे हम ओडी नगालो को साइन कर रहे थे, वुड वेगॉर्स को साइन कर रहे थे?
यार Vardy is not the player that he was let's be very very clear here also the second player you talked about what's the name
ओडी ने
Vardy के अलावा
Calvert-Lewin
ना
Calvert-Lewin was
मैन ना वो इतना इंजर्ड अबे वो पूरे उसको साइन करके पूरे टाइम इंजर्ड रहने वाला है व्हाट्स द पॉइंट कितना इंजर्ड रहा है वो पिछले 1-2 साल में ऑल्दो ही इज अ क्वालिटी प्लेयर अगर वो अपनी पीक पे होता नो डाउट कर लो साइन ही इज अ ग्रेट फिनिशर पर वो ही नॉट द सेम प्लेयर आई थिंक हॉयलैंड इज नॉट गोइंग ही इज गोइंग टू ट्राई टू प्रूव हिमसेल्फ ऐसा कुछ दिख रहा था आई एम नॉट श्योर although I want him to succeed I'm not sure that United is the place for him let's see also I'm not sure about these players man. I'd rather trust someone who is proven अगर पैसा फेंकना ही है तो किसी ऐसे पे फेंको जिसपे 100% श्योरिटी हो कि दैट विल वन be it Osimhen वो Osimhen is the only striker I'd want in my team at this point who is older because he for sure will enter this fray and help younger players he'll start striking from the get go उसके लिए मैं am pretty sure else I'm not sure about anybody
Unfortunately, Osimhen का भी ये कह रहा है that he's on the verge of extending his contract with Galatasaray. तो जो भी यूनाइटेड के मेन सेंटर फॉरवर्ड टारगेट्स थे आपके लियम डिलैप आपके विक्टर ग्योकरेस आई थिंक एक और था मैं नाम भूल रहा था एक ही ठीक है उसके लिए एंड देन ओसिमन सारे नाम जो है गायब हो रहे तो मुझे काफी घबराहट हो रही है किस हिसाब से we're gonna actually approach next season without a center forward and apart from that goalkeeper भी जो है हमारे goalkeeper भाई साहब similar philosophy as Rasmus Højlund he has also said that he wants to prove himself at Manchester United and Ruben Amorim doesn't have a problem actually keeping him between the sticks and that is something which is also problematic for me तो यार बड़ा complicated और बड़ा intense तो नहीं मतलब बड़ा snooze fest चल रहा है and it's actually leading me to worry कि क्या होने वाला है next season
who are we talking about here who are we talking about
उनाना भी प्रूव करना चाह रहे हैं ना हमने आपको वो भी नहीं जा रहा यार उनाना
अरे यार ठीक है, कर लो भाई. अब रिप्लेसमेंट भी कहाँ है, किसको ही लाएंगे?
पता नहीं भाई. एनीवेज ये काफी मतलब अभी तक तो फिलहाल बड़ा स्नूज फेस्ट चल रहा है इन टर्म्स ऑफ ट्रांसफर्स. बाकी क्लब्स काफी अच्छे से मूव कर रहे हैं. आई होप थिंग्स चेंज. आई होप थिंग्स गेट बेटर. 10 दिन में हमारा प्री सीजन स्टार्ट हो रहा है. Will we be able to sign Mbuemo before that? There are a few reporters who are saying that before आपका I beg your pardon, before the US tour, Mbuemo, there's a possibility that United could actually end up signing him. And if that does happen, then I will be pleased. We'll have Cunha and
होना तो
Mbuemo.
चाहिए.
That would be great. So I have high hopes from the likes of Joshua Zirkzee next season. I think a lot of people have said that he's looking sharp. Bruno Fernandes is in. Of course, you have your Lisandro Martinez coming in. Lenny Euro is someone who I have high hopes with. And apart from that, I know Casemiro looks quite lean. So it's another season that we'll be getting from him. I don't think that he's going to make a move. So these are the players that I'm looking forward to next season. Now, will we be able to complement this team with a few other additions? That will be interesting to see. The players that we are linked with right now, Mbuemo, of course, है. उसके अलावा, like I mentioned, center forward में Ollie Watkins is a name that is actually floating in the air. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Moise Kean, Vlahovic, these free agents will also be in the mix. So if we're not able to sort these outgoings on time, then it is unfortunately the free agent market that we will have to go ahead with. तो अब ये देखना बनता है कि जैसे हम Mbuemo साइन करेंगे, outgoings हम कितने जल्दी कर पाएंगे. The sooner we actually resolve this issue of sending these players across wherever they want to go, the better it will be, because we will be able to acquire our players. And as per reports again, Ruben Amorim को at least 5 players चाहिए, which includes your center forward, midfielder, I think it was a defender as well, and it was a wing back. So अभी तक एक ही हुआ है पूरा. Let's see what happens. Paritosh, is there anything else that you would like to add before we conclude this? चल कोई नहीं. I think Paritosh is away. It was nice catching up with you, brother. फिर से हम आएंगे. We'll be back again with more news regarding let's see what happens in the near future if we actually end up signing Mbuemo. I think एक महीने पहले, 1 month ago, I had said that our next podcast will be when Mbuemo ends up signing that contract with United. And it's been more than 1 month. I think it's been 35 or 36 days since we last got that David Ornstein bomba in which he had mentioned that Mbuemo will choose United over other clubs. उसके बाद से कुछ हुआ ही नहीं है. We've made 2 bids. They've rejected 2 bids. Brentford have. And now we are about to go for the 3rd bid. Now, will that be accepted? It'd be interesting to see. Then the outgoings will be a major talking point. Will we be able to offload players such as Alejandro Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho on time before we make serious acquisitions once again? Because let's not forget, the pre-season starts in 10 days. Our first game is against Leeds United, and they will be up for it. Regardless of whether we sign players or not, Leeds United are going to be up for it. So hopefully we get these players away from our club, and hopefully we get in players that are actually necessary in terms of, especially when we're talking about a center forward and a midfielder and a goalkeeper, if it's possible. Otherwise, even right now, it seems that we're pretty much not on the right track, and it's scary times for us. But hoping for the best. Let's see what happens. Paritosh, is there anything else that you would like to say? We're signing off. I think you're on mute. I'm not able to hear you. No, I think there's an issue. Anyways, all right. It was nice catching up, brother. आएंगे. Hopefully, the next time that we sign a player, Mbuemo, it might be soon enough. अब होगा, आज होगा, कल परसों, 72 hours after pre-season देखना बनता है. Let's see. I hope we get conclude this and wrap this deal as soon as possible. I'm just getting bored of it, and hopefully there'll be more incomings and outgoings in the near future. Until then, do take very good care of yourself. This is Wali and Paritosh Joshi signing off. Take care, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.